It is one of the biggest days in the British horse racing calendar as the Derby takes place at Epsom at 4 o'clock today on Saturday. Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports. Here myself Charlie, and one before the video starts, please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Yes, there are still World Cup previews coming out, so please stick with me on that one as well. Amongst other sporting news as well, talk about the rugby as well, probably the Prem, the final day today, and also some tennis. I mean, what a final that is in the Grand Slam. But first things first, I wanted to focus at Epsom because it is the Derby, which is one of the most prestigious days for me in the British horse racing calendar, and it should really be in the British sports calendar, to be honest. Obviously, it's lost its gleam and its glamour in recent times, and attendances are down. I was fortunate enough to go a couple of years ago when City of Troy won the race, and it's a race that I think is probably going a little bit sliding downwards, but the BHA, bringing lots of Frank Warren and others, are trying to sort of stop that demise, but it's an easier said than done job, really. But moving on, the race itself is, I think it's a really open race this year. Obviously, I said a few weeks ago when I did a video on it, I thought Constitution River, if he'd have ran, would have won the race. He didn't. He went to the Prix de Jockey Club and he won that race in what was an incredible result for Aidan O'Brien, the front three, all being trained by him and owned by Coolmore, of course. So we're left with Benvenuto Cellini as the favourite, who won the Chest of Ours in quite impressive fashion, really, to be honest with you. He looks a horse who will stay the trip, which is what a lot of these other ones have question marks over. It's 1.5 miles. The ground is looking like it's going to be soft because of obviously the rain that's knocking about. It'll be interesting to see how things go in that aspect and whether that is a factor, because I think horses like maybe Maltese Cross, who did actually for me when he won the Langfield Derby trial look a bit like a cup horse, to be honest with you. There's rumours that he may struggle with the softer ground. And Item as well, who ran in the Dante and won the Dante, is another one who for me would maybe struggle with a bit more going the ground. There's question marks over stamina. There's some reason for me that I just can't warm to Benvenuto Cellini as a Derby winner, and that's the truth of it. He may very well romp up. He may very well win. He's got every opportunity to have the race set up for him. Of course, Aidan O'Brien, again, running 4 or 5 runners in this race to try and set the race up. I do, on that subject, like Christmas Day, actually. I know he ran in the Dante and was disappointing in that race, but there's a part of me that likes both Christmas Day and Pierre Bonnard. Pierre Bonnard, I think, will like the ground the way it is. Yes, he was disappointed at Leopardstown last time out, but I think both of those horses have a very good chance in this race, because I think the way the Derby trials have gone, there's been a lot of sort of high-profile favourites beaten, and people have gone, well, you know, let's put a line through them. I don't think that's the way it can work with this year's Derby, because I don't think there's an outstanding horse that you go, apart from probably Benvenuto Cellini, but there's not an outstanding horse that you go, yeah, that's your Derby winner, or there's a reason why it's coming in with such a hot favourite. But the one that I really like in this race, and the one that I think, obviously with yesterday's Oaks result and thundering on winning, the trainer's obviously in good form, the jockey's in good form, is James J. Braddock. Named after a boxer who, of course, upset Max Baer in one of the greatest heavyweight upsets ever, the pride of the Irish. The way he closed at Leopardstown, for me, showed that it's a horse that will relish going further, and as well is a fan of soft ground. So for me, I think James J. Braddock has got every chance. The stable is clearly in very good form as well. The jockey is in very good form with the ride he gave thundering on yesterday, oozing confidence. I really like James J. Braddock to run well at this race. Another one that I think is quite interesting is Ancient Egypt. He impressed at the Gallops the other morning, the Breakfast with the Stars meeting. Yes, it's pretty unexposed at the top level, but we've seen Derby winners run that before, and maybe there will be experience lacking, but the one advantage he's got is he's ran around that Epsom bend, because there's that question as well of how some of these horses deal with the Epsom twists and turns. It's a great race, but I really like James J. Braddock. Pierre Bonnard, it wouldn't surprise me if he bounced back, though, with that form tied in with James J. Braddock at Leopardstown, and ran really well himself, especially with the soft ground. And there's always seems to be now a big price horse finishing in the top 3, maybe because of the way Aidan O'Brien runs his horses, and you know he tends to maybe set them up with pacemakers, etc. So it wouldn't surprise me if something like Action or Christmas Day got in the top 3 just because of the way the race is set up. But like I said, they are my 3. I worry for Item. I think he looked a little bit green at York in the Dante, and I worry that he's going to struggle with that going further with a slightly more undulating course. I worry that maybe his inexperience will be exposed. And I just don't know why I can't warm to Benvenuto Cellini, but I may very well be proven wrong. As always, guys, let us know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try to become a one-man sports news bandwagon. As always, have a great day.